Hello there. Welcome back to State Adventures. We are so thrilled to help your family with your next adventure. Let's go through this Patagonia itinerary. There are so many details, and because it's the holiday season, there's such tight availability. So everything on this itinerary is available as of today, but I am here to help you tweak and make sure it fits your family. We can make changes. There's still time, but some of the core pieces on here are really important to nail down because once they're gone, we're going to have to start thinking about new dates. So let's go through this Chile trip. This is a private tour for your group of 11, and we will start with an overnight flight on the 27th of December, which will allow you to land in Chile on the 28th. I strongly suggest booking the trip, booking your international flights all the way to Calama, which is in the desert. That means when you arrive in Santiago, you'll be on the same ticket. You just check in, go through customs, and connect to your flight to Calama on that same ticket. If you don't do that, then you have to pick up your luggage, get out of the secured area, check in again, and go through security again, which is possible, and quite a few people do it that way as well. So if you need help with that local flight, let me know. Otherwise, I suggest you book with LATAM all the way to Calama. Anyway, that will help you arrive in the desert on the 28th at about 4 p.m. That is a suggested flight, so you can have time, plenty of time to connect. And once you arrive in the Atacama Desert, our private driver will come and pick your family up and take you to the village of Atacama, which is maybe a 45-minute drive from the airport. Here we will spend 4 nights, and I think it's really important for that first destination to be the longest because you're just getting off a long flight. Even though there's no jet lag because we're not changing time zones, it is still quite a long travel period. And the desert is spectacular. It is a hub for nature, activity, adventure. There's biking, horseback riding, swimming in lagoons. There's wildlife like nowhere else in South America. Scenery feels like another planet. There's the salt flats. So there's plenty to see and do. On top of the cultural aspect, there's villages, there's ruins, there's some indigenous communities that still reside in this area. So you will learn all about it. So in Atacama, when you're doing your research, I'm sure you have come across many lodges that work kind of like in Patagonia, where they include all of your meals and all of your activities. For your family, because there's 11 of you, I strongly suggest we don't do it that way, that we do it with a private guide because this is such a remote area. Doing things in large groups with other people that may be residing in the lodge is not ideal because you will be on a bus. There's going to be a lot of travel back and forth. So doing it this way makes a lot of sense for my larger families. That's how I usually propose it. So you'll stay at the Noi Casa Atacama, beautiful hotel. Really, you're going to rough it by day on excursions and really be spoiled here by night. You have 5 suites for your family, and all of the activities, all of the transportation is done privately with my guides and my drivers, not the lodge's guides and drivers. This is different. This is special because you go at your own pace. We can tweak the tours. We can really make the trip your own, as opposed to going to one of the lodges that includes everything, and then you have to kind of put yourself in the box of what is possible that day with groups of 16, which operate here in Atacama. So everything you see here on this itinerary in the Atacama Desert is done privately. So for 4 nights, you will stay here. The hotel includes breakfast, and this is another reason why I didn't want to go with the fully inclusive because Atacama is a village. There's plenty of restaurants. There's a little, there's a main street where you can go shop and explore. You're traveling with kids. You might want to, grab a slice of pizza one night and not go for the full 3-course meal. So it really works for families this way as well. Of course, your resort has beautiful restaurants as well. Every day you're going to go on excursions. So the Moon Valley, you're going to go on a tasting tour of the highlights of the desert. You're going to go to the Rainbow Valley. You will go see the salt flats. There's just so much to see. You'll go get to swim in lagoons, which is so exciting. I mean, to be like on this moonscape location and then be able to swim here is fantastic. There's vicuñas and llamas and all kinds of different animals that hang out here as well. You'll go to the famous places like the geysers, El Tatio geysers, which is really early in the morning. It's very mysterious. It's a great excursion, and of course the salt flats, which is a big part. Now, Atacama sits on the border of Bolivia, and the largest salt flats in the world is the Uyuni, which is in Bolivia, but it spills over into Chile, and that is what you will experience. So 4 nights here, amazing skies, best place in South America for stargazing. Actually, some of the largest telescopes in the world are here. So the events continue into the night. The hotel usually has some kind of activities at night where you can go stargazing. There's plenty of guides on property to chat about the, what you see in the sky. So it's a really great place. Really great to explore the village and be in a lovely hotel and have private guides. I mean, best of both worlds. So, and you'll spend New Year's Eve there as well. So January 1st, we leave and we fly to Santiago. So Santiago is in the middle of the country. It's the capital. It has access to the wine, the wine country region. It has access to the coast where Valparaiso is. So we will tackle it all. So on January 1st, we're going to fly to Santiago, private transfer to the airport, and then private transfer from the airport to the hotel. We're going to spend 2 nights at the Pullman Santiago. This is a modern hotel. I really like putting people here, especially after they come from some wild area like Atacama or Patagonia, because it has all the amenities. It's well located, has everything you need, but it's not overly expensive, so it doesn't bring up the cost of the trip. And we're going to spend 2 nights there. The first day that you arrive, we're going to stretch our legs in the afternoon and go on a walking tour. We'll go to markets, do some tastings, ride the subway, like really feel like you're from Santiago and see what life here is like. Santiago is a big metropolitan city. I'm originally from Poland and it very much reminds me of Eastern Europe. So there's massive parks. There's just a lot of outdoor space. There's lots of little restaurants with tapas and things like that. So it's a great place for a night or two, but most people spend no more than 2 nights in Santiago. On our second day, we have a full day tour. Your guide, private driver, will go off with your family of 11 and we will visit the coast. We will visit Valparaiso, has a great pirate history. We will visit the not Concha, Casablanca wine valley so you can do a lunch and some tastings. And if you do want to swing by and try to see that largest pool in the world, we can do that. It's in that region, but you won't be able to swim there. So I'm not sure if we want to waste 2 or 3 hours going there, but if you do, it's available and we can certainly do that. Here's just one photo of the colorful town of Valparaiso and of course, the wine country as well. And after that, we're ready to leave Santiago. So I do have a question for you here. If you, instead of the foodie tour that I've arranged for you, if you want to have like a classic city tour, see the main square, see the, cathedral or something like that, we can definitely do a proper tour of Santiago as well. I just think the foodie tour is a lot more fun, especially if there's multi-generational people traveling. But off we go on January 3rd to Patagonia. So Patagonia is a massive region. It spreads between Argentina and Chile, and we have the northern Patagonia, which is lakes and mountains, and then the southern Patagonia, which is ice and glaciers and things like that. So very, very vast region. So first we're going to tackle northern Patagonia, which is Puerto, you fly into Puerto Montt and then you go to the village of Puerto Varas. We're going to spend 2 nights here. So Puerto Varas, Puerto Montt region has volcanoes, has lakes, has beautiful mountains, there's great hikes here, and we're going to tackle it all. The first day when you arrive, you're going to stay in this beautiful lakefront hotel. And I put a room with 3 beds just so you see what a triple looks like in South America. And then in the afternoon, you have free time to explore the village, maybe go out for a nice dinner. This region has a huge Swiss and German influence. So you're going to see a lot of chocolate and cheese and architecture an infrastructure that belongs maybe in the Alps, but it's South America. And then the following day, our private guide will come and show you all about Osorno volcano, the Patruyu waterfalls, do some hiking, do some exploring outside of the village before we head out to Patagonia proper Torres del Paine, which is on January 5th. It's a short flight from Puerto Montt to Puerto Natales. Puerto Natales is one of the two airports in southern Patagonia, which the other one is Punta Arenas. Puerto Natales is closer to Torres del Paine, and that's why we chose it here. It works a lot better. And here we have, to me, the best part of the trip, which is Estancia Cerro Guido, which we will be here for 3 nights. So Cerro Guido is in Torres del Paine, so the park is massive. So no matter where you stay, there's so many different camps and lodges. No matter where you stay, there's going to be driving involved from the airport for the excursions, for the hikes. It's just an extremely massive park. So when you are staying in Cerro Guido, you will have access to so many excursions, from hiking to horseback riding to cultural experiences to estancia experiences. If you want to have the kids go and experience, taking care of horses and things like that, the sheep shearing, things like that. Everything is included at Cerro Guido. All of your meals, your beautiful accommodations. It really feels like staying at like grandma and grandpa's house in the countryside. That is the feeling that they really try to instill here. So it's a very laid back atmosphere. It's good eating. It's fire pits at night, storytelling with the gauchos. A gaucho is a cowboy from Patagonia. And of course, all the excursions. So every day you can choose one full day tour. And if you do a full day tour, it means that you're out from morning to the afternoon and you have lunch outside. So sometimes it's a picnic lunch. Sometimes it's a lunch at a another estancia, maybe if you're horseback riding or something like that. Or you can choose 2 half-day tours, doing an excursion in the morning for 3 hours, coming back, having lunch at the estancia, relaxing, and then going out again in the afternoon on another tour. And I listed a number of excursions here, from extreme hiking to mild hiking to photography tours to 4x4 tours. Of course, lots of horseback riding, fly fishing. They have a great conservation about pumas, which is huge for families because you get to track pumas. And so I actually just had dinner with the manager of Estancia Cerro Guido, and I was telling them about your family thinking about coming to visit. And he was just so excited to share with me that the ratio of seeing a puma in their region is like 70%, which is huge. 70% of visitors get to spot a puma in Patagonia. Super exciting. So lots of excursions. So the estancia is not big, and their cap on tours is, I believe, 8 people. So even if your family wants to split up, and some people want to go horseback riding, other people want to go on a hike, you can easily split. And because your group is so large, it will most likely be just you guys on the excursion. So that's really exciting. So have a peek at all these excursions and see how it works for you. We're going to be there for 3 nights. And on that last day, which is January 8th, we're going to take you back to Puerto Natales and fly you back to Santiago. You're going to be in Santiago by 4 p.m., which gives you plenty of time if you're taking like an 11 p.m. flight home, which is quite often the case. Leaving South America. So let me know your thoughts. We can obviously make some changes. If you feel like the itinerary is too busy, maybe you want to remove northern Patagonia, leave it for another time, and maybe add that night somewhere else. Or if you want to have another area of Chile covered, I'm here to tell you all about all the other regions. This is such a fascinating city, a fascinating country. I have probably been to Chile 5 or 6 times, and I even haven't seen it all yet. But I love it, and I can tell you more about it. So I'm gonna stop the share. Thank you so much for listening, and happy travels.